So today I have decided to make a video basically talking about, I think a lot of people will agree with me on this. I want to talk about one of the worst drummers in heavy metal history. I am, of course, talking about Lars Ulrich, the famous Lars Ulrich from Metallica. Yeah, now I love Metallica. They're one of my favorite bands, but Lars Ulrich, I fucking hate this guy. This guy is just, he's such a shitty drummer. And, even my own father agrees with me. My dad says all the same shit that I don't think has already been said. He's one of the worst drummers ever in metal history. And not only that, not only is he the worst drummer ever, he's also such a fucking asshole. He's such a despicable little fucking prick. I mean, it's like, I don't understand why people sometimes get intimidated by him. I mean, he's a little fucking shit. I mean, literally, Lars is just a little cocky, arrogant fucking piece of shit, And it's no wonder why him and James Hetfield don't get along sometimes. I mean, because, I have seen the, Some Kind of Monster documentary at least, 8 times, and just scenes with him and James Hetfield, it's just watching Lars sometimes and watching him fucking drum and watching him fucking argue with James and him argue with other people and the way he treats people sometimes and the way he talks to people. Oh man, like the scene in Some Kind of Monster where they're in the room and they're discussing shit once again because I think they were in another therapy session, and Lars is just he's just prancing around the room like a little fucking asshole. He's just prancing around the room like a child, and he's going off about James and shit and how controlling he is and how the thing that pissed me off in that scene is when he's going off saying fuck, fuck, fuck. Yeah, and then all of a sudden he gets in James's face and he goes, fuck! If someone ever did that to me, I would fucking punch them in the face. I'm so surprised that James, first of all, James seemed like a bit of a pussy to me in that fucking scene because he was just taking all that shit in. Honestly, the James Hetfield that I know would not have taken that shit. Would not have taken having to deal with his own bandmate fucking prance around the room like a little child going, fuck, 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 fuck you, James, you're so controlling, blah, 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 and shit like that. And then all of a sudden he gets right in his face and just goes, fuck! The James Hetfield that I know would have fucking clocked him right in the fucking face. But no, he just sits there like this while Lars is going, fuck! He's just taking it. And I'm like, wow. James is all of a sudden, James went from being a badass 30 years ago to all of a sudden a fucking little pussy. He just fucking completely pussied out. And he just let Lars just fucking prance around the room and talk shit about him and fucking disrespect him and get in his face and go, fuck! The whole time I watched that, every time I watch that scene, I'm like, what is Lars's problem? Seriously. I understand that he's expressing himself, but there's other ways to express yourself than just prance around the room, act like a fucking asshole, and talk shit about somebody who you've known for 30 years, and then just get right in their face and go, fuck! Basically saying, fuck you. Like I said, the James Hetfield that I know would have fucking clocked him in his stupid fucking face, you know? And another thing I want to talk about is his fucking shitty ass drumming. Oh god, it's awful now. I mean, he Lars had some decent moments with his drumming, but only with, you know, the old shit like Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. And you know, and Justice for All, I mean, his drumming on that album was okay, but it was nothing impressive. But I will admit though, like his drumming on the song One is pretty fucking intense, and you know, I will give him that. You know, his drumming on that song is pretty intense. Also with Black End, you know, which is my favorite song, by the way. And then, you know, I will give him credit, you know, like his drumming is still not the best on the Black album, but you know, at least his drumming sounds good. You know, and at least he's able to, you know, do different beats and do different rhythms, but it's because, you know, they had Bob Rock helping them out, and Bob Rock pushed them a little further and made them experiment with like different musical techniques, you know, with like you know, the guitars and James's vocals and Lars's drumming. But and then after the Black album, Lars's drumming pretty much went to shit. You know, he just went back to basic fucking beats. They all sounded like shit, you know, with Load and Reload. But I think that hands down, Lars's worst drumming of all time is on the Saint Anger album. Saint Anger album, I fucking hate that album. I will never fucking buy it. I will never include it in my fucking Metallica album collection. Never. Like, I do not include things in my collection that I did not like. But unless... It all depends on how much I love something, then I guess I'll have to include something I didn't like only in my collection just to be a completist. But if I hated something that much, I will not include it. Like, you know, like I will not include it if it's something that I will not revisit, or if I will never listen to, or if it's something I'll never watch again. Like Load and Reload and Saint Anger, fuck those albums. But on Reload, like, the only song I do like on that album is Fuel. That's it. Load was just a fucking cum stain, and Reload was even a bigger fucking cum stain, and Saint Anger was just fucking trash. You know, I feel like on every song, like, I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to make the album sound more garagely and make it seem like, you know, okay, you know, there's these four guys getting together, you know, in their garage and jamming and shit. Like I understand that, you know, that's the kind of thing they were trying to do, and they were trying to experiment a little bit and not include guitar solos and try something new and interesting and different. But the execution and the whole production of the album just came out fucking half-assed and shitty. Like, Saint Anger is a mess. Like, you know, if you're not a Metallica fan, and if you're somebody who's starting to listen to them, I highly recommend you only listen to their old shit. Do not listen to Load, do not listen to Reload, and do not listen to fucking Saint Anger. Because those albums are one of the worst albums ever, and those albums have Lars's worst drumming ever. So, yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. And I will see you guys later. And fuck you, Lars. Fuck you, you fucking arrogant little prick.